इमेजिन करिए आप सोशियोलॉजी की क्लास में एंटर करते हैं। टीचर मैक्स वेबर पढ़ा रहे हैं। ट्रेडिशनल अथॉरिटी, लीगल रैशनल अथॉरिटी, करिज्मेटिक अथॉरिटी। अब तक सब नॉर्मल है। फिर टीचर बोर्ड पे कंटेम्प्रेरी एग्जाम्पल लिख देते हैं। प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी। स्टिल सोशियोलॉजिकली नथिंग पर्टिकुलरली रॉन्ग और अनयूजुअल अबाउट इट। वेबर के थ्रू कंटेम्प्रेरी पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप को एनालाइज करना सोशियोलॉजी में परफेक्टली लेजिटिमेट है। बट नाउ इमेजिन आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी सिलेबस में एक एक्चुअल मॉड्यूल ऐड कर देती है, मोदी तत्वा, and suddenly the question changes. Are we studying Narendra Modi or are we formalizing a particular interpretation of Narendra Modi? गुजरात की महाराजा साजीराव यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ बड़ौदा सोशियोलॉजी करिकुलम के बारे में एग्जैक्टली ये डिबेट शुरू हो चुका है। मोदी तत्वा हैज बीन इंट्रोड्यूस्ड एज अ पार्ट of a course called Sociology of Patriotism. And Narendra Modi's leadership is intended to be examined, amongst other things, through Max Weber's charismatic authority. Now, obviously, two reactions can emerge. Some people can say a sitting prime minister should not be a part of the syllabus and curriculum. It is too political. Another category of people can say India के most consequential contemporary political leader में से एक सोशियोलॉजी में क्यों स्टडी नहीं होना चाहिए? एंड स्ट्रेंजली बोथ दीज क्वेश्चंस डिजर्व टू बी टेकन सीरियसली. सो टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू whether you like Narendra Modi or not. That question is political. We are going to discuss, can sociology study Narendra Modi without becoming pro-Modi or anti-Modi? Through the following 10 questions, let's understand what this unusual syllabus tells us, not just about Modi, but about charisma, power, universities, syllabuses, knowledge, and sociology itself. Number 1, what exactly is Modi Tatva? MS University में Modi Tatva is being reported as a module or a component of a module within Sociology of Patriotism, itself a part of a broader sociology curriculum revision. The university has also introduced courses around sociology of Bharat, Hindu sociology, while the wider curriculum recognizes and discusses RSS, nationalism, Indian knowledge traditions, and historical personality. Sociology department के head ये कहते हैं कि तत्व roughly means an element that deserves to be studied because it's visible and significantly accepted. So before saying that this should never be a part of sociology curriculum, let's ask a more basic question. Why shouldn't Narendra Modi be studied by sociologists? Long tenure as Gujarat Chief Minister, more than a decade as Prime Minister, repeated electoral victories, large rallies, distinctive communication style, Man Ki Baat, social media, political symbolism, welfare narratives, nationalism, recent Gen Z-led movement, asking his government's accountability, supporters who identify very strongly with him, and critics who organize themselves equally strongly against him. So forget whether you support Narendra Modi or don't approve of him. From a sociologist's perspective, how could this not be interesting? And that is our first surprise. The controversial thing is not studying Narendra Modi. The question, however, is how is Modi being studied? Number 2, Max Weber. Universities reportedly want students to understand Modi's leadership through Weber's concept of charismatic authority. In everyday language, when we say he's very charismatic, we usually mean he's a good speaker, attractive personality, commanding presence. But that's not quite what Weber meant. For Weber, charismatic authority emerges when followers attribute exceptional or extraordinary qualities to a leader and accept authority partly based on that itself. Charismatic authority is not a compliment as such. It is an analytical category. A sociologist asking whether Narendra Modi possesses charismatic authority is not automatically saying that Modi is a great leader. This distinction is essential. Studying power is not the same as endorsing power. Number 3, can Modi actually be called a charismatic leader? So let us test this proposition sociologically. Does the Prime Minister's office have the authority depending on Narendra Modi? The office remains the same regardless of who occupies it. So there is legal rational authority to the Prime Minister. He is the Prime Minister because of constitutional and electoral institutions. Yet voters can have radically different relationships with different Prime Ministers. Modi hai to mumkin hai. Modi ki guarantee. The leader's name itself becomes politically meaningful. Now this starts getting closer to Weber. And here's the important part. Charisma doesn't exist inside the leader alone. It requires recognition by the followers. If no follower recognizes extraordinary qualities, no charismatic authority exists. So, sociologically studying Modi's charisma isn't merely studying Modi, it is also studying sociology's relationship with Modi. Number 4. Why do millions feel connected to someone they have never even met? Most Indians who strongly support Narendra Modi have never met him, and most who strongly oppose Modi have not met him either. Yet both have extraordinarily intense perceptions of him. Why? Because Modi's modern political leadership is mediated. Rallies, television, radio, Man Ki Baat, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, speeches, photographs, government communication, political campaign, memes, reels, even criticism, all of these continuously produce a public image of the leader. So modern charisma isn't simply leader and follower relationship. It can be leader, party, media, technology, symbols, reactions, narratives, and then followers. And that gives a fantastic sociological question. Has technology made charismatic authority drastically different to manufacture, amplify, and sustain? Now Modi Tatwa has taken us from one politician straight into sociology of mass communication and political leadership. Number 5. Why call it Modi Tatwa at all? Studying Narendra Modi is one thing, completely defensible. Studying his leadership through Weber, potentially interesting. Studying his relationship with nationalism, media, voters, welfare, or political communication, again, can be legitimate sociologically. But why Modi Tatwa? Because here terminology matters. Suppose the module was called Charismatic Authority in Contemporary Indian Politics. Narendra Modi as a case study. So notice how this feels. It's analytical, observational, open-ended, testable. Now compare it with Modi Tatva. It carries a different semantic weight. This does not automatically prove ideological intent, but it gives us a legitimate academic question. Does the language of the syllabus merely describe what students have to study, or can it frame how students are experiencing it? And that question matters enormously, because education doesn't begin when the professor starts speaking. Education begins with classification. What gets named, included, excluded, what becomes compulsory, what becomes an optional, which thinker accompanies which leader. The syllabus itself is already an intellectual map. Number 6. Who decides what deserves to enter the syllabus? And now Modi almost disappears from our story, because imagine tomorrow another university creates Nehru Tatva, Indira Tatva, Mamta model, Yogi Tatva, Kejriwal model, or any other. Would your reaction remain the same? That is a useful intellectual test, because universities cannot simply ask, do we like this person? They need academic criteria. Is the phenomena socially significant? Can it be studied empirically? Are competing interpretations included? Can students criticize the proposition? Are the sources transparent? Can evidence falsify the claims that are being taught? That is what converts a political subject into an academic object. And that is the distinction that I want students to remember. Politics can ask, whose side are you on? Sociology will ask, what social processes are you operating here? Number 7. But can a university ever be completely apolitical? We often imagine politics को university के बाहर रखना चाहिए. But sociology itself tells us that this is not that simple. Universities decide which thinkers are to be taught, which books are to be prescribed, which histories matter, which concepts deserve courses, which researches get funding, which problems deserve PhDs. And these choices are made inside society. Universities don't float outside. Culture, history, state institutions, funding, ideological debates, academic traditions, and power relation all have an impact on it. Knowledge isn't produced in a vacuum. The questions a society considers worth asking often tells us something about the society asking them. So instead of only asking, is Modi Tatwa political? We have to ask, what does the appearance of Modi Tatwa tell us about contemporary India's changing intellectual priorities? That's a much bigger question. Number 8. So here's the real test of sociological classroom. Imagine two students. Student A says, Modi demonstrates Weberian charismatic authority. Student B says, I disagree. His durability may depend upon party organization, bureaucracy, welfare delivery, media systems, and legal rational institutions than personal charisma. What should a good sociology department do? It should say, explore it, evidence lao, concept define karo, alternative explanations examine karo, compare karo, critique karo. That is sociology. The quality of this course, therefore, cannot really be judged merely from its title. The important question isn't Modi syllabus mein kyun hai? It is also, can a student disagree with the premise of Modi Tatwa and still receive full marks if the sociology and evidence are excellent? For me, that is one of the strongest tests of whether we are teaching sociology or a doctrine. Number 9, there is an even bigger debate. What should Indian sociology look like? Modi Tatwa hasn't appeared alone. The broader revision reportedly includes sociology of Bharat, Hindu society, sociology of patriotism, RSS related study, nationalism, Indian knowledge traditions, and so on. So this debate is much older than Narendra Modi now. Indian sociology has always struggled with a question. How should we understand Indian society? Can concepts developed largely in Europe adequately explain India? Do we need indigenous vantage points? How much sociology should we engage with civilizations and traditions? How do we ensure that Indianization doesn't become uncritical celebration of India? This tension is not new. Indian sociology has long contained very different traditions. Ghure, Srinivas, A.R. Desai, Ambedkar, and many more. They didn't tell us to see India the same way. And perhaps that's precisely the point. An Indian sociologist doesn't become intellectually strong merely by becoming more Indian. It becomes strong when it can examine India critically, including its own categories. That's a much more interesting decolonization than simply replacing one list of approved ideas with others. Number 10. So is Modi Tatwa sociology or politics? My answer, we don't merely know by the title. And I think anyone giving you a confident answer based only on the words Modi Tatwa is moving too quickly. If students examine Modi's leadership, his supporters, his critiques, electoral behavior, promises, nationalism, communication, welfare, institutions, media, charisma, and competing explanations using evidence, and are genuinely free to reach different conclusions, that is sociology. If the conclusion is predetermined, if the evidence is selected on established greatness, if criticism becomes academically unacceptable, if competing interpretations disappear, then the problem isn't that Narendra Modi is being studied. The problem then becomes that sociology has stopped asking questions. And exactly the same standard should apply whether the subject is Modi, Nehru, Gandhi, Ambedkar, Savarkar, Max Weber, or anybody else. Because sociology shouldn't have sacred conclusions. It should have rigorous questions. Perhaps there's something wonderfully ironic about this entire conversation. The university wanted to put society into the syllabus, but the moment it changed the syllabus, society started debating the university. Politicians reacted, academicians questioned it, students became curious. Applications and inquiries reportedly increased after the announcement. Media debated it, and now we're making a video about it, which means Modi Tatwa itself has become a sociological event, not merely because Narendra Modi is inside a sociology curriculum, but because the controversy reveals something fundamental. Knowledge is also social.